In a recent profile, General Milley raised the possibility that he thought if Trump was reelected, he would throw his opponents in jail. He said that he would be at the top of the list. Do you think that that's a real concern? And are you concerned that you could be on Trump's enemies list?
Well, sure. I think there are probably a lot of people that are potentially on such a list. And again, that's reprehensible. I think General Milley's comment was he didn't think President Trump would be reelected. Well, I'm not so sure about that. So yeah, that's a real concern for many of us.
Hold on one second. Just started a live stream. Before I break this down, I'm not at home. I don't have the studio. I have the built-in mic for the computer, which I hate. I'm going to take this out for 1 second. Just make sure that we have no glitches, no hiccups, no nothing. If I look a little red in the face, it's because I was surfing today and I didn't put suntan lotion on my face because I'm an idiot. I was wearing a wetsuit because California water is a little colder than Florida water. But I didn't put suntan lotion on my face not thinking. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. There's lag. Let me see here. I'm just going to make sure everything technically is okay. I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi. Hotel, sometimes no-tel. Okay, so we are live on Rumble. It was extremely short notice because I wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to get a stream going today. Good. Are we live on Locals? Let me see this here. Okay, are we live on Locals, everybody? See, I'm seeing the memes already. Oh, mamacita. Hope the voice. Okay, hold on. Locals. Are we good? We're good on Locals. Okay. Let's bring that back to the stage, shall we? And then we're going to get into the stream today. Because we've got a good one. Is the audio good enough? Let me know if the audio is good enough. It's not going to get much better. Don't use sunscreen. I have my theories about sunscreen. I mean, I stopped using antiperspirant because it had the aluminum zirconium, whatever it is in it. That is not necessarily good for you. Audio is quicker than video. Okay. Well, yeah, we're on internet Hollywood. We're on hotel internet. Audio's good. Audio's light. Okay, we're going to live with it. It's not going to be the best technical stream because I'm not in the studio. I'm on the road getting ready to do the RNC second primary debate tomorrow. I'm going to be live streaming noon Pacific time. I think I've got a 2-hour window. This RNC debate is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more select. I'm joking. It's not more select. It's in a smaller venue. So it's not going to be like the 6,000 person stadium that we had in Milwaukee. But my goodness, I got the invite and I said, yes, thank you. So going to live stream. Oh, I just spat on my computer. Going to live stream tomorrow noon Pacific time. And then the event starts at 6 o'clock Pacific time? Is that possible? 9 o'clock East? Whatever. Okay. So how bad could the Rumble says I'm offline? Hold on. I know I'm not offline on Rumble. I can see it right now. Hit refresh if it says you're still offline. Sometimes that happens. And everybody says, yeah, PP. Okay, sorry, I'm not reading that. You're like Milli Vanilli. Blame it on the rain. So I went surfing today. I rented a 7-foot board and took to the waves with the wetsuit. Now, the water was 62 degrees. It's nothing by Canadian standards. I've gotten some chafing on my belly. So I figured the wetsuit will be better for that. And it adds a little bit of buoyancy. So even when, surfing in the bigger waves of California, I didn't want to have an incident. So I chickened out a little bit and got the wetsuit. And it was fun. Did an Ezra Levant piece from my car on the side of the Pacific Highway. And now you're going to see some lagging, people, because I see it looks like that radar thing that has 3 exponentially bigger arches is on the 2 now. I did a piece with Ezra Levant talking about the Canadian stuff. And A, I'm not ready to let it go to sleep yet. And B, it's not ready to sleep yet. There have been some massive developments, which we're going to get into today, on the Rumble side of things. Not because I'm afraid to talk about it on YouTube, but because I want to not have it interrupted as a segment, because it's going to go from recapping where we are to the updates. Spoiler alert, the House of Commons speaker dude resigned today, to the left's propensity to seemingly defend Nazis. Now, we've actually gotten into the world where it's the argument. I made a joke like, they're going to say, well, that was a long time ago. Who are we to judge? Which is pretty much where we are right now. It's who are we to judge? The left propensity to defend Nazis after having literally set up a day to punch a Nazi. They're gonna have to like stop punching themselves. Has anyone done that meme? Nelson, stop punching yourself. Punch a Nazi. Stop punching yourself. Stop punching yourself. We're going to talk. Actually, this is what we're going to do on this side of the thing. UK is going to cancel Rumble here. I don't think they're going to. I think that would just be too wickedly over the top political. Viva, you are awesome. Thank you. I didn't bring that up on purpose, but thank you very much. There's news on Rumble. Well, it's not really news on Rumble. It's news on Russell Brand, Rumble, Burger King. I'm going to make a shirt that's going to say, make Burger King Bud Light again. I don't know if it was ever Bud Light. We're going to talk about that after we do the intro. So that is the intro, everybody. You know the standard disclaimers, no medical advice, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh. The link to Rumble is there, so everyone come on over to Rumble, because that's where the discussion on the Canada's Nazi problem seems to have gotten a lot worse, and they throw their what's the word? Patsy under the bus. House of Commons Speaker has resigned in shame. Not enough. And by the way, I'll tell you this, I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for people who I should not feel bad for. I feel bad for people who don't even feel bad for themselves. To be discussed. Okay. Link to Rumble is here. And get ready to go for this. So, Viva's on the West Coast. Yes, I am, because I'm going to the RNC debate tomorrow night. So, tomorrow night, going to be live streaming from the area all day tomorrow. I'm going to do a live stream walk around the location. The venue is supposed to be beautiful. I have a feeling I'm going to run into some politicians, have a little Viva on the street interviews with some of them. Okay, let's get this show started. Let's bring this back, people. I should say, good afternoon, West Coast. Good evening, East Coast. And top of the morning to you. I don't know what time it is in England. Let's play this piece again and appreciate when I say that the left, the brain, try to distinguish the brain of a conservative versus the brain of a liberal, or the brain of, I say, the red-pilled versus the brain of the blue-pilled. That's how we're going to do it. It's projection with lack of insight. That is my scientific distinction of the brain. The leftist brain, Democrat, liberal, or as I'll just say, the blue-pill brain. They have no sense of humor because they have no insight. It's sort of all a beautiful microcosm. They project without understanding that they're talking about themselves because they have lack of insight. People think, they accuse me of projection. They say, hey, because I throw it around a lot. I do accuse people of projection oftentimes. And then people say, well, that's projection, because I say it about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton came out and talked about Donald Trump, saying he's a classic narcissist. He projects his crimes onto others. And I'm saying, no, Hillary, that's exactly what you do, and that's exactly what you're doing right now by projecting your crimes and your projection onto Donald Trump. So I'm very much aware of it. And I ask myself this very same question when Hakeem Jeffries moves his hand like a bumbling idiot whenever he talks. Extreme MAGA Republicans are going to turn this... And I criticize his hand gestures, and I say, do his hand gesticulations irritate me because I'm defensive about my own? I ask myself this question all the time, in every respect. I often accuse myself of, attack myself more than even my most revered trolls attack me. So I have this in my head. When I'm making the accusation of projection, is it me projecting? And I do the circle and I do the analysis. Listen to this. They're afraid Donald Trump, if he gets elected, is going to put them in jail. The people who are conspiring now to actually put Donald Trump in jail. He just got found guilty of fraud in New York on that civil case about inflating the prices of his hotels and golf courses. The people who are now conspiring to put Trump in jail are fearful that if Trump gets elected, they're going to put him in. He's going to put them in jail. Listen to this. General Milley. Is he the guy, is he not the one that gave the heads up to China that he would tell China if there were to be a conflict, apparently? Is General Milley the one that was he the one also lying to Trump about plans to invade Iran and then saying that Trump leaked the plans to invade Iran when it was actually Milley planning? I think that's the same Milley, if I'm not mistaken. So I realize I'm not sharing the screen here. Let's start that again.
In a recent profile, General Milley raised the possibility that he thought if Trump was reelected, he would throw his opponents in jail. He said,
do they not understand? General Milley's concerned that if Trump gets elected, he's going to throw his opponents in jail. Says the man of the deep state apparatus who's trying to put Trump in jail, who's trying to put his attorneys in jail, Jenna Ellis, Rudy Giuliani, Jeff Clark. The list is long and I can't remember them now. There's a few in there that I really wanted to remember, but I can't. They are trying to put Trump and his associates in jail now. They're afraid, though, it would be an attack on democracy if Trump were to get elected and try to put who I believe are the actual criminals in jail.
Said that he would be at the top of the list. Do you think that that's a real concern? And are you concerned that you could be on Trump's enemies list?
Trump's enemies list. I have no doubt that Trump has an enemies list. It's probably a mental list and it's probably long. But when they talk about an enemies list, it's literally what they have. Trump, attorneys, Giuliani, Mike Lindell, all of them. They are accusing Trump of doing what they're doing, and now they're trying to, classic narcissist. What is it called? It's called, people give me the narcissist attack, defense, reverse, victim. What's it called? DARVO. Defense, defend, attack, reverse of victim. This is what narcissists do. These people who are victimizing Trump in the way that they're doing it now are claiming to be the potential future victims of such reprisals if Trump were to ever get elected, and then potentially do in the future what they are doing to him now. Darvo.
Well, sure.
Well, sure, because we know what we're doing. We're trying to put that dude in jail for the rest of his life. Well, sure. Of course we should be afraid of that, because it's exactly what we're doing. And so we just assume that everyone else is going to be doing the exact same things that we're doing.
I think there are probably a lot of people that are potentially on such a list.
Now, there's probably a lot more now than there were before. I'll tell you that.
And again, that's reprehensible. I think General Milley's comment was he didn't think President Trump would be reelected. Well, I'm not so sure about that. That's a real concern for many of us.
Understand what he just said. There's a real concern that if Trump gets reelected, he'll put these crooks, these cronies, what's the word I'm looking for? Wamboozlers, these criminals in jail. There's a real concern that if Trump gets elected, he'll put these guys in jail. What vested interest? What motivation do you think that creates for these people to never see Trump get elected ever? Because it could mean that they lose their freedoms. What lengths would they not go to ensure that they don't go to jail?
I'm not so sure about that. So yeah, President Trump would be reelected. Well, I'm not so sure about that. So yeah, that's a real concern for many of us.
That's a real concern that if Trump gets elected, these people could get put in jail. Well, that certainly is motivation to commit a crime. That certainly is motivation to RICO organize, to put someone in jail preemptively. And then the more they try to put him in jail, the more angry he's going to get at this attempt to interfere with an election, this attempt to criminalize a law-abiding individual. Never had a problem with the law until he won the election, till he ran for president and won the election. What incentive can that give to these people who sincerely and genuinely believe that Trump, if reelected, would put them in jail? What incentive does that create for them to make sure that he doesn't get reelected at all costs? Think about that for a second. Now, Bonsi88 says enough proof to do that, and I agree. And to the extent I think that that we're talking about the same thing. I think there's more evidence of the conspiring of the deep state to put Trump in jail, given past conduct. Like we all seem to forget. The deep state falsified evidence to obtain unlawful FISA spy warrants to spy on the incoming president, to wrongly, dishonestly, and knowingly falsely claim that he's a Russian asset to undermine the first 3 years of his presidency. And it's the same deep state that everybody just has to believe right now is telling the truth when they say that Trump is really now he's a criminal. Really now. So it's a very interesting thing. They've actually created a game where their survival, their very freedom, depends on the destruction of Donald Trump. It doesn't go good places. If anybody's asking, yes, this is vodka. It's actually not vodka. It's vodka with a bunch of ice, which is melting because it's very hot here. But it's 5:45 here, but it's 8:45 where I'm from, so I think I'm justified. So that's it. Everybody has to appreciate that. They know what they do. They know how they operate, and so they assume that everybody operates with the same, I'll say, criminal intent, criminal level. And they're afraid because they know damn well when they got into power, they used that power to now try and put Trump in jail. And they presume, probably rightly so at this point in time, if Trump ever regains that power, he's going to come after them and put them in jail because there's a lot more evidence of their conspiring to interfere with elections than there is of his. That's what alcoholics say. Come on, it's fine. It's noon summer. No, but I've exercised, damn well I've earned it. I caught a couple of waves today that were actually damn good. All right, that was one thing that we can talk about here before we go over to Rumble. And then the other thing, actually, good segue before we go over to Rumble. I am not a fan of boycotting. I guess it's a funny thing. I don't like the term boycotting. I like let's cancel somebody, because a boycott implies a campaign of getting other people, pressuring other people to do something that they might not have otherwise done on their own. And even when I ran for office, people, I never told anybody to vote for me. Here are your options. Vote for who you want, but this is what the respective votes stand for. What's going on in that picture? So I don't like telling people, organizing boycotts, because it seems juvenile. But I do very, very much firmly and vigorously believe in voting with your dollar, as I have done by leaving Canada temporarily. Maybe permanent. We'll see. You vote with your dollar. You think I'm going to pay 46% tax to the government to take my freedoms away? I'm going to vote with my dollar. Now, maybe I'm not much better off paying tax in the States. I mean, from a percentage perspective, maybe. But, the governments all do the same thing with your tax dollars. Once they get their grubby hands on them, they steal them, they swindle them, and then they squander them. But vote with your dollar, and I firmly believe in that. And that's a little bit different. It's a little more nuanced than a boycott. A boycott involves whipping people up into a frenzy and saying, you don't shop there. No, vote with your dollar. Well, let's hear what the dollar... By the way, so the news was... Let's bring this out for a second. The news was Burger King made the announcement, along with HelloFresh and a couple of other companies, that they were pulling their advertiser dollars from Rumble. This was an article from last week. It came out in The Guardian. Tell me this is not, in as much as falsifying the evidence against Carter Page was the two-step to get to spying on Donald Trump. You don't think that going after Russell Brand with 15-year-old allegations was the two-step to get to Rumble? I think it was. The Guardian, the one of the outlets coming from the area that's going after Russell Brand, put an article saying that Burger King and other big companies, including HelloFresh, were pulling their ads from Rumble because Rumble wouldn't demonetize Russell Brand on the basis of, I guess they're technically substantiated, but we'll say unproven, anonymous allegations of sexual misconduct, alleged sexual misconduct, dating back 15 to 18 years. Rumble says, after receiving a letter from the UK government saying, "Hey, we're wondering, are you letting Rumble make any money on your platform? Because that would be wrong. Are you letting Russell make any money off of his rebuttal video? Are you still monetizing Rumble?" TikTok comes out and says, "No, he never was monetized here. We're not monetizing him." YouTube demonetizes his entire channel, and Rumble gives the two proverbial digital middle finger and says, none of your effing business, but more eloquently. Rumble replies with the response that you saw. We're not demonetizing someone based on unproven, anonymous allegations that are over a decade old of alleged misconduct that's 15 years old, off platform, and absolutely unrelated to the content on the platform, and rightly so. Godspeed, God bless Rumble. The Guardian comes out with an ad that says, oh, big companies are pulling their ad dollars from Rumble. Rumble's really going to feel the pinch right now. Burger King, HelloFresh, and a few others. My initial reaction, fake news. How is it fake news? I've never seen a Burger King ad on Rumble. Now, I've never seen a Burger King read in my life, and I don't think Burger King does reads. I've never seen an ad for Burger King on Rumble. It's not to say they don't exist. I don't think Burger King was ever spending money or any meaningful amount of money to advertise on Rumble, period. They might have been thinking about it, and now they're suspending ad dollars that they've never paid, that they've never spent for ads that they've never run. Maybe that's the angle, so what they're saying is not a lie. It's just a prediction. We're pulling the dollars that we have never spent yet in anticipation, thinking we might have been advertising. I've never seen a Burger King ad. HelloFresh, I'm not sure that I haven't seen an ad for. I'm not sure. What's the fake news angle to this? The Guardian, the fake news lying media with its narrative, demonize Russell Brand and demonize any platform that doesn't demonetize him. They come out and say, holy cows, look at this. Big companies are pulling their ad dollars from Rumble, even if they never actually advertise on Rumble, to create the impression that it's cool, that it's popular, that it's economically savvy for the companies to pull their ad dollars from Rumble. First things first, I know a lot of big voices who said, I'm canceling my HelloFresh. What's the word? When you subscribe to subscription. I'm canceling my HelloFresh. I know at least Juanita Broderick, and I'm pretty sure I've seen others, canceling my HelloFresh subscription. I don't use HelloFresh either, so I can't cancel that. I don't, again, I've never eaten Burger King crap to even boycott it in the first place, but I sure as hell will not support that company. Anyhow, so that's the backdrop. This is the article now, coming out here. We'll see. We'll see what we think of this. It's New York Post. Oh, look at Howard Stern. He's no longer friends with Bill Maher because I don't care. Burger King faces boycott after yanking ads from Rumble over Russell Brand accusations. We'll see in this article if they disclose what their advertising budget was on Rumble, because I think it was nil. Burger King is facing calls for a boycott after the fast food giant yanked its ads from platform Rumble shortly after Russell Brand, whose broadcast a weekly show, was accused of rape and sexual assault. Though Burger King hasn't publicly stated why it recently removed its adverts from the popular site, just as other brands like ASOS, don't know what that is, but thanks, I'm not going to use it, and HelloFresh, social media users have questioned the timing of the move, which came just 1 week after brand came out. Has anyone asked Burger King what their advertising budget on the platform was? It's not hard to answer. Do journalists do their job? I mean, this is like, okay, it's a deposition. It's a cross-examination. I have a client that comes to me and they say, I want to pull my ads from how much did you spend in the last year, in the last quarter on Rumble, Burger King? I'd like to ask. You know what? Maybe I'll do that in real time. I'll ask it afterwards. The Whopper House has since been bashed for pulling its ads from the self-proclaimed free speech platform. It's not just self-proclaimed. It's the proclaimed free speech platform. Before Brandt had been convicted. How about even charged? How about even sued? Brandt has not been sued civilly. He has not been charged criminally, let alone convicted. Bear in mind, by the way, O.J. Simpson was charged and acquitted criminally of murder, found civilly liable for wrongful death on Twitter. Murderers. I should not say that. Sorry. Civilly liable for wrongful death can be on Twitter. I think Mike Tyson, there's more to that story that I even feel comfortable getting into, but Mike Tyson has had his criminal history on platforms too. Oh, but are they monetized? Dude, I went looking for some R. Kelly songs that seem to be monetized on YouTube. Burger King has pulled its ads from Rumble because the free speech platform refuses to play judge, jury, and executioner. Okay. Yeah. Fellow Rumble host, who said that? Charlie Kirk. Reminder, Brandt has not been convicted of a single crime, hasn't been charged. They hate free speech, yada, yada, yada. Boycott Burger King. All right, then we got Rumble. Look at those eyes. I'm telling you, those eyes are the eyes of terror. Russell Brand is going through something hard right now. Okay, wish I ate Burger King so I could make a difference to this boycott, another user said, while an additional commenter wrote, Wendy's it is. Time to Bud Light Burger King, yet another said, while a third chimed, go woke, go broke, a tagline that has spurred months of long boycott. Budweiser, yada, yada, yada. You know what we're going to do right now? So that's the news. Despite the serious allegations made against the 48-year-old, which include claims of grooming where Brand would give the then 16-year-old scripts to lie to her parents. Just so everybody knows, it might be a little gross for a 30-year-old to be having sex with a 16-year-old. And I say that with the caveat that my best friend's parents were 20 years separated. 20 years difference in age. 20 to 40, 30 to 50. When we were kids, my mom was... How old was my mom when we were kids? Whatever, they're both the same age. His dad was 20 years older than his mother. It's not weird when you get like 70 and 90, 80 and 60. What comes before that? 70 and 50. It's a little weirder when you think about the fact that at one point that kid was 5 and he was 25. That's not when they met. But 16 to 30, questionable as it might be morally and ethically to some, legal under UK law. So you have a problem with that relationship, doesn't make it criminal. It might make it immoral in your mind, but not criminal, not illegal under UK law. They throw in the word grooming. And in the Twitter space that I had the other week, there was one individual kept referring to it as child rape. Child rape, something that was legal under UK law. Okay. Where was I here? I forget that. Okay, let's bring up the article so I can. Brand's Russell show, stay free. He exceeds, his following exceeds 1.6 million, yada, yada. Brand also posts exclusive content separately on their website, russellbrand.locals.com. vivabarnes.locals.com. Fans can access for a minimum monthly. His minimum monthly, 60 annually. Okay, sorry. I thought that I was going to say $60 monthly is aggressive and optimistic, but $60 annually. We are $70 annually. It's actually $7 a month at vivabarneslaw.locals.com, but you get the year for $70. Brand's biggest audience is seemingly on YouTube, where he has a whopping, pun intended, 6.6 million subscribers. He will no longer be able... The platform said, YouTube said, Brand will no longer be able to make money from his videos on the site. But YouTube will, for damn sure. You think those 6.6 million people, if they don't monetize Brand's ads, videos, that they go off somewhere else afterwards and then YouTube makes money off of allowing Russell Brand to make them money on their platform? Talk about communism. Oh, YouTube said monetization of the comedian turned influencers account has been suspended following serious allegations against the creator. That's all it takes now. Serious allegations. Serious allegations that have been not the object of a civil suit, not the object of criminal charges yet. Anonymous, decades old, over a decade old. Yeah, that's it. That's all it takes, people. All right, I think that's it. Shame on Google, YouTube for demonetizing Russell Brand. Yeah, okay, we had some people who were objecting. All right, political commentator Candace Owens chimed in. I actually am struggling to comprehend how YouTube can completely demonetize someone based on allegations. Unsubstantiated or unproven anonymous allegations of off-platform conduct that have nothing to do with his online conduct. How does that make sense? I'll tell you what, it doesn't. And with that segue, people, we're going to go over to the free speech platform, where we're going to talk about Canada's descent into Nazism? Nazi supportingism? The link is over there. We're 850 strong on YouTube, which I love seeing, because how many are we on Rumble? We're at 2,400 on Rumble. Come on over to Rumble, people. And we're going to carry this on, and we're going to get into the Canada's Nazi problem. Was there one more thing that was not related? Because this next, no, I think the rest of it's all related to the Nazi debacle out of Canada. A scandal that should reverberate for decades. Justin Trudeau has to resign. Chrystia Freeland has to resign. I do think a number of conservatives, have some splaining to do. My goodness, there's a couple of them. Marissa Landsman. Who was the other one? Leslyn Lewis, who, but for the grace of God, were not there that day. So there's going to be no video footage of them clapping like brain dead seals because someone says there's someone here that we should be praising? Let's get to it. Viva, see you on the real platform. Bye, says, here you go, Jim Miller. And we got our YouTube cut Russell halfway through. Nothing will happen from this. I did not see that coming. Well, on that note, all right, we're down to 769. So let's end this on YouTube and get over to Rumble in 5.